Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. When I last left you guys, we just finished up Chapter 6, Victims of War. We are now moving on to Chapter 7, Waterside Renval, which, conveniently, takes place in Renval. Who would have guessed? That's it right there. Alright, so really quickly, I'm just going to go through and dump off some stuff that I don't need, like that Orion's Bolt that I got as a present. I don't need these antitoxins any longer, I don't believe. Certainly don't need any elixir at the moment. Thankfully. I actually did end up using that one antitoxin last chapter, but that's not that big a deal. Where did Iron Axe come from? We don't need the torch staff any longer. I think we're actually going to maintain our previous... Oh wow, my brain just shut off all of a sudden. We're going to maintain our previous trend of using Molder over Natasha for the moment. As I've discussed, Natasha generally will turn out quite a bit better than Molder, but right now he's what we need, so... his luck is abysmal though, I just realized. Holy smokes. If we get a goddess icon, he's going to be top of my list of candidates. At any rate, let's move on to Renval, shall we? Yep, they heard some random rumors that Ephraim was defeated and now he's prisoner inside Renval, so now Eric is on her way there to save her brother from this enemy. Yep, natural fortress, all but unassailable, and yet it's going to be assailed twice in a couple of chapters. A lone bridge. Yep, well, when you don't have any choice, then you don't have any choice. You imagine how much of a pain in the butt it would have been to build a castle in the middle of a lake like that? Or, like, rather surrounded by lakes. Allow me to fight with you. Well, yeah, I was going to deploy you anyway. We will fight. Yeah, you're all here, I get it. This isn't even like a final chapter or anything, it's just, like, another chapter. Your blade's no joke. Well, it kind of is, really. Yep. Prepare for battle! Well, I kind of already did, but here's the battle preparation screen anyway. So we get 10 units to bring with us. We might as well just maintain the current repertoire of dudes that we're using. If I'm being totally honest, I do want to include Joshua. And that trend may change all of a sudden. Like, I might just drop somebody out and replace with him. I don't know if that's going to happen right now or not. Let me see if there's anything worth stealing on the map that I need to bring home for. If I don't need to bring him, then we won't. Oh, whoa. Yeah, we need to bring him. I need that. Holy smokes, an energy ring? Absolutely. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you. Alright, so, oh, and the boss has a Knight's Crest. Nice. Pretty decent stats for a boss, honestly. He shouldn't be too hard to deal with, though. So yeah, we're absolutely bringing Calm because I want me an energy ring, and it's on this mage. So that's happening. Oh, there's a ballista here, too. I wonder if Naomi can make good use of that. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't like using ballistae all that much, if I'm being totally honest, simply because they're not as strong as I think they should be. Although it's probably for the best because the enemy employs them against you quite a bit. But at the same time, Naomi's a lot better off just coming with me and picking people off closer than the ballista. But maybe that's just my opinion. At any rate, we're going to stick with what we got for the time being. Although, yeah, we kind of need Gilliam, right? But we need to move pretty quick, and he's really slow. So why don't we leave Gilliam behind for a little bit, and I'll bring Joshua, and we'll see how he does. I know, crazy, right? How dare I leave behind the Armor Knight, but at the same time, we won't really be needing him too much this chapter, so we'll send Florina, or I keep calling her Florina, what is the matter with me? Vanessa is going to go up there. Holy smokes, I need to knock that off. Alright, so let's get rolling, shall we? So, this map is not overly difficult. There's just a handful of dudes. We have to go around this ridge and get up this way and then go straight for the door. There's some dudes up in here, and there's a couple of dudes up here, but not that big a deal. And then this boss is not overly threatening. He should go down pretty quick, so let's get rolling, shall we? We'll send Ross up ahead to clear out the soldiers, which he should be able to do quite adequately, because he has an axe, and these guys are pathetic. Hey, a free level up. More speed, good. More defense, good. Strength, luck, I like it. So far, so good. More level ups like that, and I'll be really happy. Look at that, 13 strength at level 5, and 13 luck. Nothing to cry about. Certainly, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. Again, I wouldn't mind if he was a little faster, but he's doubling enough for what he needs to be able to do. So, I'm not going to complain too much. All right, so let's move over here. I'm going to send Vanessa up here to deal with these schmucks. That being said, they have a fighter, and that's going to be problematic, maybe. Why don't I send Franz up there instead? Although he doesn't move through the forest very quickly. That's alright, I think he can handle it. I need to be careful not to kill that mage yet, because I need that juicy energy ring. Sweet, delicious, juicy energy ring. And we'll just send the rest of the crew up here. This map, don't quote me on this, but I think there are reinforcements that spawn from behind, so I want to make sure I pull everybody up with me and don't expose my the rear guard here. Rouse yourselves. The might of Murray's brigade. Yeah, okay. Do feel free to show him off the might of Murray's brigade. Let me know how that goes. 22 or 29%. Come on with that. Man. I mean, thankfully he's got pretty good defense, so it's not like a big deal or anything, but... Alright, Franz, lay some hurt down on that fighter, would you? Oh my gosh. Just decimate the guy, why don't you? Man, Franz is really good. I love me some Cavaliers. Cavaliers and Armor Knights, man. That's where it's at. That's how you win a Fire Emblem game. Cavaliers and Armor Knights. Pegasus Knights are great, too. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, there really isn't any class that I don't like. That's a lie. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I'm not that big of a fan of Myrmidons and Swordmasters. They certainly have their niche, and they're really nice when they're properly leveled and built up. Like, Joshua's really good, by the way. That class I'm not that big of a fan of. Mercenaries, on the other hand, I love, because they're so well-rounded and good. Myrmidons are just a little too squishy for my liking, and they rely a little bit too much on being fast, and sometimes that's not enough. I don't like fighters either, really. I wish I liked them. They should be better than they are, but sadly they just always end up disappointing me. There are a couple of exceptions to that. Boyd in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn is actually a very good fighter. And he's probably the only real good fighter, if I'm being totally honest with you guys again. I've been saying that a lot now, haven't I? That being said, fighters, generally speaking, in this franchise just aren't quite up to snuff. And again, it's a little bit sad, because I would love to be able to make good use of an axe fighter, because they're really strong. But when they have such a hard time hitting people, and they can't take hits very well, they have a lot of HP, but no defense, so like they still get wallets pretty easily. It's a little bit annoying, I'm gonna be honest. So, not a fan of fighters, not really a big fan of Myrmidons. Archers, I can take or leave. They're nice to have, but they're far from, like, essential. And that really would have really hurt if he'd hit me. I'm not that big a fan of thieves either. I don't like the thieves or assassins, really. I don't tend to deploy them all that often. I know, obviously, you need to have a thief, because you need to steal stuff, and you need to open chests and everything, so... but I guess it's kind of reflective of my philosophy when it comes to any traditional fantasy role-playing game. I play Pathfinder, as I've mentioned a couple times on the show before. But my preferred kinds of classes are, you know, big, strong guys, heavy armor, really strong weapons. I don't go for the nimble, quick, and skillful. Like, I don't play rogues, I don't play monks, I don't play druids, I don't play bards. I like paladins and fighters and barbarians, that kind of thing. That's for my bread and butter. Clerics, too. I like clerics an awful lot. But when it comes to my style of play, I prefer to... I honestly, I like to brute force a lot. And which is kind of contrary, I think, to my personality overall. But, like, I much prefer to be, you know, a tactical thinker and plan my strategies out. And you can do that just as well as a big paladin beatstick as you can any other class. So there's not really any reason to not do that. It's just my preferred method. I also really like paladins because they're capable of, you know, they're really tough to hurt. They got all this armor, they've got shields, they've got defensive spells, they can heal themselves, they're untouchable. So I guess really what I like is I like tanky characters. I'm trying to figure out how to best deal with this particular situation and make the most efficient use of my resources. I think that what I have to do is move Joshua. I guess he can clean up this fighter real quick. And I didn't turn his animations on. I'm really bad about that. Really bad about that. This is why I don't normally do it, but I figure you guys don't want to sit here and watch Mulder heal every single round every time he does it, so... Speaking of Mulder, let's heal up Ross real quick. This mage is going to be dealt with some other magic fellows. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do that. And I can actually have Calm finish him off, maybe get some more experience out of him. I need to keep leveling Calm. That's the problem. Is he's not really all that good in combat, but he's kind of important because again, if he's not fast enough to steal stuff, then he's useless. So I kind of got to keep up on him and make sure that he stays topped off enough to not be useless. He actually might get hit there. Why don't I let... Oh, this is tough. You know what? He's very unlikely to get hit by this axe guy, especially because it's a steel axe. This archer might get him. I'll do 7 damage, so he'll be okay, I think, as long as he doesn't get hit by the axe guy. Which, again, highly unlikely. Thankfully, what thieves are good at is dodging out of the way. Alright, let's see. Why don't I put Erica here, actually? And Ross over here. That should help a little bit. Okay. Making sure nobody gets hit here. We'll have Vanessa deal with this mage real quick. Just enough. Nice. Oh, come on. That's alright, she'll finish him off next turn. And we can get Franz out of here. Alright, let's see how this goes. Should be alright, I imagine. So far, so good. And there's the archer going for Calm. That's no big deal, we predicted that. Oh, lay off. You and your thunder magic. I think you're so cool. Mages are cool, I'll be honest. I used to love arcane classes in fantasy. Like, that was my bread and butter for a while, was like fire mages and that kind of deal. But I realized I much prefer like martial characters to magic ones. I still love casters, don't get me wrong, but I would definitely play a spellcaster over a sneaky thief or a rogue or anything like that any day. Pure water, alright. Nice enough to have, I guess. Alright, so let's get Calm healed up here, because he desperately needs it. Before that, though, we gotta make some room here. So, Nami is doing alright. Who's the lowest level right now? Oh, Archer needs a level up, and that's what we need to do. So we'll let him finish off the fighter. I'm thinking about making him a sage. But as I mentioned a few chapters ago, back in the chapter 4, like, bishops are so good in this game. So it's kind of a toss-up. That mage's threat range is a little meh. Let's heal up Colm real quick. In fact, why don't we use him to soften up this fighter? Oh yeah, he's not hitting me. Not at 15%. That would be absurd. Okie doke. And we can finish him off with loot. Loot I've actually come to appreciate quite a bit more, especially with the advent of Fire Emblem Heroes. I've always liked her as a character, but I thought her design was a little weird in Sacred Stones. Like, I guess she's supposed to be like a kid or something, but at any rate, I mean, she still probably is. In Heroes, they did a really good design overhaul on her. She looks incredible. And she's still the same, you know, pretentious, genius, snobbery genius kind of person, which is kind of charming if you ask me, but the fact that she's so good at murdering people with magic, it just makes her all the more appealing to me. I think if you're going to be good at something, it might as well be blowing people up with, like, magical fireballs. A very good friend of mine, actually, I mentioned how I prefer to play martial characters and not casters. Well, a very good friend of mine actually much prefers to play arcane magic casters, and that's his preferred medium of role-playing, is have the wizard or the sorcerer that can cast all the spells and do all the cool stuff. And he does it very well. He's very good at it. So if that's going to be his niche, then by all means, stick to it. That ballista's got quite the range, doesn't it? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so Ross is right at the edge of the range, meaning everybody along this diagonal will be 2. I gotta see if we can deal with these mercenaries and not draw out the fighter, or not draw out the mage. So I think if I go right there on the end, right next to this tree, I can pull people out and not get hit by the mage. Problem is, I don't know if anybody's capable of tanking those mercenaries. Franz probably could, because he's all the way over here. And I can't draw out the... Well, I can pick off these soldiers with Vanessa. If I just put her right here on the edge of the water. And the archers are out of range. Ballista's way out of range. Should be, anyway. Oh, yeah, okay. So why don't I park Vanessa right here so she can soften up these soldiers for me. Use the Slim Lance. There we go. That way I don't need to worry about dealing with them by the time I get up there. I think, you know... Erica's defense is pathetic. So, yeah, we'll just wait for Franz to get up there, I think. Nah, I don't feel like waiting. Let's let Erica do it. She can take a hit from a ballista, right? I don't know how strong the thing is. I can't see the stats on it. These mercenaries have 11 attack. They're 9 speed, 10 speed, so she can't double them. Colm can't do it either, but I think she can take a hit or two. She's got 5 defense. So we'll put her right here. We'll see how she does. And then I'll put Colm here as bait for the ballista. Maybe it'll shoot at him and miss a whole bunch. That would be ideal. And we'll have Loot on station as backup for sure. Namie back here next to Colm, so they can build their support relationship a little more. Follow behind with Joshua, and Franz could use a heal, but he doesn't need it right this minute, so... Mulder's out of range of the ballista, I believe, too, so... Alright, get at me. Probably should have used the Iron Lance. That would have one-rounded these guys, and then she still would have doubled them for sure, because they're so pathetic. That's okay. Hey, weapon level increase, nice. I think that puts her to C. I'll take it. Thankfully, only one of these mercenaries can get up on her right now at all. The other one can't get in range because of the forest. So we can kind of pick them off one by one here. And yeah, Ballista's going to shoot at Erica. 7 damage. That's not a small number, but it's not a huge number either. So we'll mop up the... she can't quite do it, but pretty close. If that did 7 damage to Erica, that means the Ballista's got a might of 12. So Loot can take a hit and not die. So we'll have her throw a fireball at this guy. As long as I keep everybody topped off, they should be fine. The Ballista's not going to double. The Ballista weighs you down by 20. So unless you're a hulking behemoth, you're not doubling with that thing. It's just too dang big. So let's heal up Erica so that she can take another hit if she needs to. And we'll let Namie pick off the mercenary, I think. I think that sounds appropriate, don't you guys? So there we go, we'll pick him off real quick. Having a strong archer is very nice. A lot of people like to give archers garbage because they can't retaliate at close range, which, I get it, but at the same time, having a nice, powerful, indirect attacker makes your life so much easier during your turn. Like, you can just completely erase potential threats from a distance without them ever being a problem. Especially the case if they are Pegasi or Wyverns, which archers just erase without any issues. Alright, the Ballista's gonna have 3 shots left. Oh no, he actually hit me. For 1 damage. That's cute. Here comes the other mercenary. No biggie. We'll just rinse and repeat the last tactic we used. Now that Franz is here too, we can kind of barrel forward, although we need to be careful and not kill that mage until we're ready to steal his goods. So let's do Fireball on this guy. Too bad it's not like an actual D&D Fireball where it's got like an AoE effect. Sadly, there are no AoE spells in this game. I think that's a big missed opportunity. I would have loved to have seen a nice mechanic like that. Something I think I will play on this channel later on. I don't know that I necessarily want to do it at the same time as Fire Emblem because it's another tactics game, but the game that got me into tactics games in the first place before I discovered Fire Emblem was Shining Force, which is a tactics RPG that was on the Sega Genesis back when I was a kid. And I loved that game. Holy smokes, was it ever good. And I actually have a remaster, not necessarily a remaster, but I have a digital version of it on Steam, so I can play it on there, or I'm pretty sure I also have an emulator for it. Sadly, I do not own the physical cartridge for that. I used to have it, once upon a time, but my mom, when I reached a certain age, went ahead and sold my Sega Genesis that I'd had since I was 6, along with all of my games, and that was that kind of distraught me a little bit. I grew up with that console, and it's probably one of my favorite retro consoles. Actually, there's no question, it is my favorite retro console, no question asked. And it sucks because I really loved that thing, and I don't have it anymore. But I have actually, you know what else I have? I have it on the Xbox 360 too, and as part of the Genesis Master Collection or whatever. So it's on there too. So if you wanted to try that game, it's on Steam. Like I said, you can get it on there. Like you download like the. I think all you need to do is you just buy like the Sega Genesis, like, you know, I forget what it's called, but it's basically like owning a retro version of the console as it's like a legit emulator, right? And then you purchase the games as like little separate modules for that, and they're really cheap. They're like a couple of bucks a pop. So you can have like a legitimate digital emulator for an old school console and then just buy the games separately, but they're incredibly cheap. I think, like I said, I think it's like a couple of bucks for every game, and I've got a few on there. I bought like a little bundle. It had both Shining Forces, Shining Force 1 and 2. It had Columns, which is like Tetris, but not really. And then, I don't want Archer to get shot by that stupid ballista. Who do I want to put up here? I'll put Mulder up there. He can take a couple of hits. That seems weird letting my healer tank, but I'll put him in the woods as well. And he can heal Erica while he's there. Perfect. And the heal staff finally broke. That's alright, I got another one. Alright, Kalma's ready to steal when the time comes. We'll put Ross a little closer. We'll move Franz up. And Vanessa's done finishing off those soldiers, so all we got left is a few archers and a fighter. And we just gotta deal with this mage. Yeah, he's gonna get shot at, but he'll be fine. That ballista's not super duper accurate, which I'm okay with because I don't like ballistas anyway. Alright, so we're gonna move in, and we're gonna swipe this energy ring. Awesome. Gotta figure out who to give that to. More than likely, I'm gonna give it to Erica, just because she's been having some strength problems. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. Who could use a level up? Everybody's pretty much in the same boat right now. I could let Luke do it. Not quite. I'll let her soften the guy up. Nope. No lightning bolt for you. And then let's I could let Joshua do it. Or Archer. Let's let Archer do it. He doesn't have a kill in a while. Although if I put him there, he's in range of the... Oh, he's in range of the Ballista anyway. He's gonna get shredded by it, though, if he gets hit. He's got enough to take it. He's fine. As long as he doesn't get crit, that would suck. Nope, he's fine. It's the one issue I have with using monks is they're very frail. Not just in terms of the fact that they have poor defense, but their luck also sucks, so they tend to get crit more often than anybody else, and that's a really big problem. Alright, let's send somebody up there to deal with those stupid guys up there. You know what, let's send Franz up there. He hasn't had a good fight in a while, I don't think. He just needs a heal, not a mend. And I wouldn't mind having a slightly higher level Cavalier going into the next chapter. Hey, I think that's C rank for staffs. Oh, B. Wow, nice. Alright, get on up there, sir. Dealing with those archers is going to be fun. Definitely will not be using Vanessa for that. She will get wrecked immediately, and we don't need that. Speaking of Vanessa, I'm just going to kind of leave her where she is for the time being, I think. Alright, last ballista shot, going for Mulder. And he missed. That should be the last ballista shot. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think that guy's got any more bolts, so... we could let Naomi go up there, too. Although she could retaliate against these archers, so let's move her over here. I'll send Loot up this way, although I kind of want her for the boss, too. Like, boss has got a lot of physical defense. Actually, his resistance is almost as good. Let's have Joshua go up there and shred up people. That's fun. And then we'll just take out the archer here. If I let Franz do that, then he's just going to murder both of these guys. So we'll keep him right on the edge, just to kind of block him from getting to everybody else. And we'll move Ross over here. We'll get Mulder the heck out of the way. Give him some more staff XP, because why not? Staff XP is always fun. And like I said, you never seem to have enough of it. Hey, more Dude! Nice! Alright, Mulder turning out pretty great. His resistance is not where I would like it to be for a bishop, or for a priest, rather. Bishops and priests are supposed to have really, really good resistance, and his luck is pretty abysmal, as I mentioned. His luck is actually even worse than archers, if you thought that was even possible. But I don't know what his luck growth is. I'll have to look that up. I don't think it's very good either. But worst case scenario, there will be an item at some point in the game, just like there was with Blazing Sword, that will negate enemy critical hits. So I can just slap that on him. Oh, the archer had to dismount the ballista. I'm like, why didn't he move? Yeah, that's right. Alright, so we'll let Joshua screw this guy up. I guess he can take care of both of them. I will say Myrmidon crits are really cool, and so are Swordmaster crits. And, like I said, Joshua's also one of the best Myrmidons in the series history. He's up there with, like, Rutger from Binding Blade, and, I guess Navarre's not all that great from the original game, but he's regarded as, like, the original Uber Myrmidon kind of guy. But, I'm not that big a fan of him. Guy's really good, too, from Blazing Sword. I've heard some people say that his name is pronounced Guy. Like, I guess it's supposed to be French, and that's how you pronounce that name in French. I don't have any reason to believe that's necessarily true. I mean, I guess it could be. I guess they've got Camus, too, from the original, which I thought up until very recently was Camus. It is not. It is Camus, or Camus, because it is also a French name. So I guess they use French-inspired names in a number of these games for the translations, but, you know, I'm not sure. Until someone produces an official translation, or like he gets added to Heroes or something and we get to hear his name spoken, I'm gonna say Guy. The only reason I acquiesced to Camus is because, again, that's because Heroes decided to actually pronounce his name. Alright, Naomi's doing good. She can actually roll with these enemy archers too, which is nice. What's that one's range? Not far enough. Alright, let's take him down. Or, not take him down, let's heal up Namie first. She's doing pretty good level-wise. This boss... No, he doesn't move. If he moved, he would have done it by now. So, we'll handle this guy. I swear I thought he did move. Maybe he does in hard mode or something. But, you know what? I'm not going to complain too much, as I said, so... we want to make sure we don't put anybody else in the way here. I'm actually going to rescue Molder, and just in case he does move. Like I said, I don't suspect he's going to, because he would have done it by now if he was going to, but... I want to be prepared just in the event that he decides to break rank and fly over here. Namie could be in a bad way if he does. 11 and 6 is 17. Oh, she wouldn't die. Pretty darn close, but not quite. In fact, I'll put Calm in range of her so she gets a little more extra protection from the support bonus. And we'll mop up this last fighter. And then we can just kind of focus on taking down the boss after that. Alright, Joshua, how you doing, pal? Yep, speed. That's what you get out of a Myrmidon. You get speed and not much else. Skill too, I guess, but... That's really the bread and butter of the Myrmidon class is skill and speed and not much else. Yeah, he's not moving. Alright, so we'll finish off this archer real quick. Oh, because I'm in range of Calm, I get the extra damage point. Look at that. That makes a big difference. I should get another level up for Namie. We can hold off on training her up quite so much, I think, for a little bit. Nice, nice. Man, her defense is getting pretty solid. I'm really surprised. Look at that. That's pretty well rounded for a freaking archer, tell you what. Alright, we'll stick the monster himself right in front of this guy. And we'll see what he does. I'm kind of curious. Franz is not in any danger from that guy, certainly. Not of getting one-rounded, definitely. Maybe of getting, you know, softened up a bit, but nothing that he can't handle. And we'll stick Vanessa over here, and we'll have Molder the Boulder come up from behind here. That sounded weird. And Joshua can just kind of chill out. I don't think he's going to be all that useful against this boss, so... Our Ballistae have failed? How? Because they're terrible and they kept missing. That's a really cool palette on that guy. Like the copper-colored armor and like the dull green hair. That's actually really neat. Can I trade color palettes with him? I mean, Franz's is alright too, I guess, but it's kind of like, it's the same deal with Kyle, right? Like it doesn't, the green and the yellow doesn't juxtapose very well, or doesn't complement very well. But maybe that's just my opinion. Alright, let's see if we can roasty toasty this guy here real quick. Where's Arthur? Here he is. So we got 8 and 6 is 14. That leaves him with 9 health. Namie puts him down to 6 if she hits. And then Franz can probably handle... Oh, he can do the 9 by himself. Yeah, we're good. We can get Franz a level out of this guy, too. Alright, let's do it. We're just going to magically drop this guy. Assuming everybody hits. I don't think Loot will have an issue. Even though she has some skill problems, she doesn't generally have any problems hitting people. Maybe Vanessa can get a poke at him, too. This is always fun, ganging up on the boss at the last minute because they don't move. Sometimes you have to, because they're sitting on those gates or thrones or whatnot, and they're really bulky as a result. Alright, there we go. And then we can let Namie have a free point of XP here, just from poking at him. If she hits, she'll get more than just a couple of points. There we go. It is possible to just kind of sit here and abuse the boss for free experience. It's something that I've done on occasion during Blazing Sword, during Lynn's quest, on the last chapter against Lundgren, because once his javelin runs out, he has no ranged options, and he won't move from there. And your guys don't do much damage to him, like 1 or 2, and he just heals it off. So he's got a pretty steady supply of HP. You can just keep wailing at him and getting XP off of him until your heart's content. And there's also item vendors on the same map, so if you run out of guns, you can just go get more. Alright, we're going to use open triangle to get the advantage on this guy. Of course, I miss with my Cavalier at melee. Alright, I don't think anybody on the team is in danger. Oh, he has 10 speed? Holy smokes, that's pretty fast. That being said, he's not doubling anybody. No, he's not doubling anybody. 10 speed and how much attack with that javelin? 6. So 2 less than he has now is 14. Yeah, no one's dying to that. His crit is 4%. There's a 2% critical chance on Archer. Other than that, no one's gonna get killed. No one's in danger, so I'll probably put Calm in range of Namie as if she has a little extra defense. Actually, let's get Loot out of there. Just because I don't need her getting killed right now. Alright, so he's probably gonna throw a javelin at probably Archer, if I'm being honest. Just because he has a chance to crit against him. Yep, called it. Nope, no crit. And then Archer should finish him off in retaliation here. Yep, there we go. No big deal. Archer gets a boss level, which he desperately needed. He's a little lagging behind here. He has 10... Oh, he's at 11 speed now, but he's not been doubling lately, and that's kind of been bugging me, and I don't know why. Free Night Crest! Sweet! That's going to be for either Franz or Gilliam, depending on which of them gets there first. Let's go ahead and seize this, shall we? Let's go! In the shadows, a figure. Nope. I mean, yeah, it's a figure. That's interesting. It's Orson. He looks different. Have you guys noticed he looks any different? Let's go! Alright, so Orson managed to escape apparently and is leading us to Ephraim. So, that being said, we are going to go rescue Ephraim from Renval in the next episode. That's going to be Chapter 8. So, thank you all for joining me up to this point. I really do appreciate it. It's been fun. I'm loving this game. And we're doing pretty well so far. Nobody's getting screwed over on stat-wise. No one's getting killed unnecessarily. So, hopefully we can keep rolling with that. So, I'll see you guys in Chapter 8, the next episode. Until that time, thank you very much for watching. This has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.